Agriculture is essential for the economy, alleviating poverty and, most importantly, for our well-being. Our next guest is a 29-year-old farmer who is using agribusiness for rural upliftment as well. Sinelizwi Fakade spent most of his childhood life working on a farm in the rural Eastern Cape, and after pursuing his studies, he established the Rocky Park Farming Group, and he joins us now live via Zoom from Bloemfontein in the Free State. Sinelizwi, thank you so much for joining us. Now, I understand from your backstory, growing up in rural Eastern Cape, farming was always a part of your upbringing, but also then became your life's passion and became the core of your studies. How important was that for you before you entered into the world of farming and indeed commercial farming, as it were?
Oh, it was critical, Marcel, and thank you for the opportunity, and good morning to your viewers as well. It was paramount. You must remember the education that I was very fortunate to have formed quite a critical backbone with regards to me understanding agriculture. You must remember the difference between what we learn in the classroom to what is being practiced commercially, or should I say in the field, sometimes is completely different from one another. So what I positioned myself to do was to be able to understand agriculture theoretically and have a deep understanding of the type of terminology and the type of theory that is associated with the industry, because I knew that, you know, through practical exposure, I'd be able to combine the two. So it's been a cornerstone of what I've managed to do up until today.
And now, obviously, we're coming off the back of a year of lockdown. Agriculture has been key to keep the country eating, as it were. But you have a great belief that the agriculture sector is also a place where we can develop and uplift the youth, who we know form a very big and unfortunate part of our unemployment statistics as well. You've started an NPO called the Ugie Farming Development. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, it's a group of 36 young agricultural graduates that we were from Grain South Africa. I was employed at Grain South Africa as a provincial coordinator, and my primary focus there was to develop black farmers in particular in communal areas with regards to commercial grain production. And I was working with a team of then 18 agricultural graduates, and they were all young women who were agricultural graduates from the Eastern Cape institutions in particular. And 2019, I resigned because obviously the opportunity for my farming operation came up, but also it was a situation where we felt that, you know, we had gained enough experience and we could really continue with the type of work that we had learned. So it wasn't a fly-by-night exercise where we just formed, you know, over a night. It was through the process of gaining rural development experience, and we will always be forever grateful for that. So fast forward, we formed this NPO called Ugie Farmer Development with the same ethos in terms of commercializing black farmers. And the significant part is that, you know, we're a group of 36 young agricultural graduates. I'm the only male amongst a very well-organized and well-oiled youth team. And our work is primarily to get the agricultural primary production from a grain production perspective up and running in the Eastern Cape. You must remember, we're dealing with a province that's got the ideal natural resources, the ideal situation in terms of potential with regards to agriculture. You know, theories out there to show you the potential, theories out there that indicates that Eastern Cape arguably is the next bread basket. So for us, it was a situation where our entity must be the leading entity with regards to getting the rustle and the bustle of primary production up and running in the Eastern Cape. We can never answer all the questions, but we're starting to ensure that farmers are understanding the importance of commercialization. So we teach farmers, we mentor farmers, we assist them in gaining access to provision, and we're funded by an entity called FarmSol under SAB in terms of our program, as well as, you know, we've been trusted with a large sum amount of money through the commercial partnership with our provincial Department of Agriculture that's entrusted us with a big amount to actually, commercialize and continue the program. So the funders are there, but we're appealing to more to say that we are a jockey that can be backed to win the race of agricultural change and development.
Now, Sinelizwi, you pointed out yesterday in a social media post that only 4.2% of maize produced comes from black farmers. Soya beans doesn't even feature, and we do know internationally there's a massive market for soya beans. Where do we even begin to change that percentile? Because there might be black young people watching this right now and saying, oh, Sinelizwi, we don't have the land. How are we even going to start to turn those kind of statistics around?
Well, I think a good point of start is just to identify the right farmers, but to identify the right candidates for support. You must remember, we're in a province where we've got large vasts of land in communal hands, as it were. So for example, Ugie Farmer Development is assisting farmers, 800 farmers on our database currently, within a year of our existence. And the whole essence there is to unlock the potential of communal land. But the difference here is, it's important to have the right structure and to support the right organization to carry forth the change. It's not impossible because there is soya beans in the Eastern Cape, in the Ngeleni area to be specific, that we're assisting with, that we've planted soya beans of 50 hectares. So it's a situation where if you are supporting the right, in my view, and our view as Ugie Farmer Development young people, if we are getting the necessary support, and when we talk about support, we're talking about, provision of quality production inputs, the mentoring structure. Mentoring is critical to get the experience to be shared as to how to produce commercial yields on communal lands or commercial lands for that matter. Those kinds of things will change. Land ownership, statistically I could be off, but there's a lot of land being bought by government, right? And we all know the current financial structure wants you to have a title deed. For some of us, when we discuss this as young people, we're saying, well, where are those title deeds? Because if the current financial system is asking for a fixed asset for you to unlock financing to get into production, where are those title deeds, and how is it that we can get access to them? Lease agreements for 30 years, 40 years, it's a good initiative as a start, but those title deeds become important. So from a government perspective, we're willing to assist and direct to say it's not something that can happen overnight. But the systems are in place, such as implementing bodies on the ground, to ensure that it can happen. It can be changed. It's because we're doing it in the Eastern Cape. So that's the backbone that we're coming from. So it's not impossible, Marcel, in my opinion, but it's a system of, as I say, backing the right systems to get the results.